This video is about the economic justification or lack of the Great Western Highway upgrade between Katoomba and Lithgow, and specifically Little Hartley to Lithgow. The upgrade of the Great Western Highway between Katoomba and Lithgow is an enormous project, and you would expect, given the spend, estimated to be $10 billion, if not more, you would expect that the benefits flowing from that expenditure would be equally enormous. Sadly, that is not the case. Economically, projects such as the Great Western Highway are assessed on a cost-benefit ratio. When one looks at the cost equation, in this particular case, the cost is the capital cost, which in this case is around $10 billion, if not more, dollars, and then the annual operating costs of the road network to be built. On the benefits side, the key things that are looked at are things like the saving in travel time, the reduction in crashes, improvements to the way vehicles operate, and also the economic development opportunities that come from it. Let's take each of those economic benefits. Now, the first one is time saving. Now, the time saving that is indicated in government documents is 10 minutes. That's what we're going to get, 10 minutes for a spend of $10 billion. That means $1 billion for every minute saved. That's a lot of money. The other issue is possible reduction in vehicle crashes. Now, the government documents indicate that those crashes will reduce by a fairly large amount. What hasn't been said is the fatality risk, which will be much, much higher, caused through 100 kilometre speed zone through the valley, and a higher proportion of trucks that are much longer and heavier than what currently exists today. The other benefit that government documents appear to purport is that the economic development coming from this upgrade are likely to be significant. Now, there's no information anywhere in the documentation as to what that really is. There's no indication as to where that will be, what type of industries are going to benefit from this upgrade, what type of employment is going to be involved, the number of people that will be created in terms of employment growth. None of that is anywhere in any of the documentation. So how the hell can there be an assessment of economic benefit when there's no information to back that up? The HDPA has many times asked government for it to release the cost-benefit ratio and also release the business case. For whatever reason, those documents have never been released to the community. They're judged to be confidential, which is a cop-out because there are other examples elsewhere in New South Wales where those documents have been released to the community as part of the community consultation process. So when one looks at the evidence, it is clear that spending $10 billion plus millions per year maintaining and operating this network, there is no way that the benefits are going to be greater. The HDPA has consistently told government that the issue that needs to be fixed is at Blackheath. Blackheath remains to be the congestion pinch point for the Great Western Highway. And currently, $4.5 billion has been allocated to this upgrade. It would make sense for that amount of money to be refocused and spent on Blackheath and fixing that problem as the only priority. And by doing so, it would then solve the current issues that this community is facing. And by fixing Blackheath, it gives everyone the opportunity to really think through the strategic long-term road corridor to the west. So in that sense, that would free up a lot of money, billions of dollars that could be reallocated to other infrastructure projects of greater need across the community of New South Wales. The Little Hartley to Lithgow section of the upgrade is likely to cost in the order of $1 billion. And all that will do is save motorists 2 minutes. So the public is spending $500 million to save 1 minute of time. Economically, that does not make any sense whatsoever. Hartley has always prided itself of having a strong business community. Now, when you look at the concept design, 2 of our leading businesses will be asked to go due to construction. Then there are those businesses that rely heavily on passing traffic The way the concept design has been done means that a number of those businesses will not get that passing traffic that currently exists. And so there's a question mark as to the survival and viability of those businesses long term. In our submissions to government, HDBA has put forward an alternative design, and that design is based on an 80-kilometre speed zone. In contrast, the concept design is 100 kilometres an hour. The reason we have put forward 80 kilometres an hour is because that will be the speed through the tunnel, and also it's a speed that links into Lithgow. So having one consistent speed, from our point of view, would make sense. The 80-kilometre speed simplifies the design considerably. The taxpayer in recent years has spent $250 million on the upgrade through Hartley Valley. And so our intention of our particular design is to keep the existing highway as much as we can. So the existing highway becomes the eastbound route with the construction of a westbound route, a two-lane westbound route that will have a median that will be sympathetic and aesthetically in keeping with the landscape. Our design gets rid of three major structures. It reduces the environmental impact, it reduces the construction footprint overall, it allows residents and visitors to travel and move around the area as we do now. It would actually support local businesses, and also it allows residents to turn right from local roads onto the new highway. And also, from a construction cost viewpoint, it would reduce the overall cost quite substantially, probably in the order of $500 million, or half the cost